She came in every morning at 6 a.m. sharp. Always early, always quiet. Maria never said much, just a soft, "Good morning, sir," with her eyes lowered as she tightened the straps on her cleaning apron. To the other staff in the mansion, she was just the maid. To Tyler, she was a mystery. Tyler was a single dad and the CEO of a luxury design firm. A man used to big personalities, big problems, and bigger egos. But Maria, she was different. She moved like silence wrapped in humility, gentle, careful, almost like she didn't want the world to notice she existed. She cleaned his home every day, floors, dishes, laundry, even his 5-year-old daughter's chaotic art table, with a grace and gentleness that went beyond duty. And yet, she never spoke more than needed. No small talk, no personal stories, no complaints. Until one Thursday evening, as the golden sky melted into twilight, Tyler saw something that made his heart clench. He had just returned home early from a board meeting and noticed Maria slipping quietly out the back door, not through the main entrance like usual. She held a worn-out bag in one hand and looked around nervously before walking toward the street. Curiosity, or maybe something deeper, tugged at him. Without overthinking, Tyler got into his car and followed her at a distance. She didn't take the bus. She didn't walk home. Instead, she walked for nearly half an hour before turning into the cracked parking lot of a run-down motel, one of those places you avoid making eye contact with when you drive past. Tyler parked across the street, hidden in the shadows. He watched as Maria approached the farthest unit, room 112. He was about to leave. He felt guilty enough already, when something inside that room made him freeze. A child's laugh, then a cough, a rough one. He watched Maria open the door, step inside, and kneel next to a hospital-style cot, where a boy, maybe 6 or 7, lay with tubes running from his nose, a portable oxygen tank humming beside him. Her son. Tyler's breath hitched. She hadn't just been going home. She had been rushing to care for a sick child, from a motel room. And she never once asked for help. The next morning, Tyler didn't say a word. Not yet, but he couldn't unsee what he had seen. He started watching more closely. She never took extra breaks. She ate lunch standing, usually finishing leftovers from the mansion's fridge. Once, he saw her fold his daughter's socks with tears in her eyes, as if just the act of folding something small and whole brought back a memory too heavy to carry. Finally, that Friday evening, Tyler caught her before she could slip out the back again. "Maria," he said softly, "can I give you a ride?" She froze. "No, thank you, sir. Please, just let me." Reluctantly, she nodded. As they drove, the silence filled with something unspeakable. Until finally, he pulled into the motel lot. "I know," he said quietly. Her shoulders stiffened. She looked ready to be fired. "I followed you. The other night, I saw your son." She turned away, tears threatening to spill. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean to. My boy has cystic fibrosis. We lost our apartment paying for his treatments. The motel is all we have." Tyler stared at her, not with pity, but with awe. "You come in every day, care for my home, my daughter, while your own son is fighting for breath in a motel room." She didn't answer, just nodded once, eyes full of shame. But Tyler wasn't ashamed, he was inspired. The next morning, Maria and her son moved into the guest house on Tyler's property. It wasn't charity, it was humanity. She resisted at first, but he insisted. "You're part of this home, Maria. Let us be part of yours." Weeks turned into months. Maria's son, Daniel, began to smile again. Tyler's daughter, Ava, started calling him her brave big brother. And Tyler, he found himself becoming more than just a boss. He became family. It wasn't just a house that changed, it was hearts. And one evening, as they all sat under the backyard lights, Daniel in Ava's lap, Maria beside Tyler on the bench, he looked at her and said, "You followed your heart every day. I'm just lucky I followed you." Kindness is rarely loud. It's quiet hands doing impossible things without asking for applause. And sometimes, the people we overlook are the ones holding up the world with both hands. So, the next time you see someone walking quietly, as a single dad and corporate architect, his world revolved around deadlines, client meetings, and trying to make it to school pickup without forgetting his daughter's favorite juice. But lately, he'd started noticing her. Not in that way, at least not at first. She was the maid who barely spoke above a whisper. Always dressed modestly, always working like she was racing a clock only she could hear. Her name was Elena. and there was something about her that made Tyler pause,